Welcome back to Slothbox. I'm Lyndon Dixon, joined today by Shadasia Green. Shadasia, how are you?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm blessed. How are you?
I'm not too bad, but I was just wondering, how did that come about? And now that it's done, like, how does it feel to be on Jake Paul's team?
Um, I used to post a lot. I started posting a lot. My stablemate, my little brother, Rajan Chance, told me to basically use social media for promotion, and so I started promoting myself a bit more when I can because I don't really post a lot and I'm not on social media. And Jake Paul happened to just pay attention, and they had been watching me for a bit and they showed interest. And with what Jake Paul has done for women's boxing, who wouldn't want to be a part of that? He's basically changed the game. He's brought more light to the sport. He's brought more equity to the sport, and he's just been doing amazing things for women's boxing. He took his platform and fed a sport that was hungry
Mm.
and desperate for some shine, and Jake Paul is responsible for, along with Clarissa Shields and Michaela Mayer and everybody else, Katie Teller. Jake Paul put eyes on the sport of women's boxing.
It literally brings me perfectly on to my next point. Like, he's got a lot of critics, but at the same time, like all the stuff you just mentioned, the eyes he's brought to the sport, not just for the male side of boxing, but for the women's side as well. What do you say to those critics that say like people like Jake Paul aren't good for boxing?
I say nothing, and I say continue to pay attention and to continue criticizing, because what it does, it ignites his flame and his fire, because they're still watching. So
Mm.
they have to be watching to be able to criticize him on any of his movements. And in this world, it's a good versus bad, and it's the necessary evil. We need that. We need
Mm.
those people that have an opinion. Everybody has an opinion, but we need those people who go against certain things and certain avenues that is creating profit for um, the sport of boxing, the sport of women's boxing, that we're getting the profit that we've never got before. We're getting the limelight that we've never gotten before. And like I said, Jake Paul is one of the many influencers who is bringing this type of attention to a sport that was in desperate need.
Mm. Moving on from yourself, your promoter Jake himself was fighting this month against Tommy Fury in a controversial, great build-up. Like it's a huge fight in boxing, whether people like it or not. But there's a lot being spoken about for the loser of the fight. Like, where does the loser go? Is that it? Even Tommy Fury, like coming from a boxing family like that, people are saying that that's it if he loses. But for Jake, if he does lose against Tommy Fury, I mean, he's losing against a pro boxer. Is that it for him if he loses?
Well, I never envisioned Jake being losing. I expect him to be fully um, comfortable and victorious that night. Um, there can never be an end for Jake because he has so many different avenues that he takes and he's in control of. Jake is going to lead by example, as he always has. He's been victorious in his last fights, and I expect him to be extremely victorious this night. I expect him to, if there are any critics that doubt that he can be victorious against Tommy Fury, I expect an upset, and we just don't manifest him losing. He works too hard. He's talented and he's growing every day. So